Welcome to Bless's Kitchen. It's the place to be. It is 1 o'clock Eastern time here in the city of Coral Gables, the heart of Coral Gables. And my guest today is Maria Cruz. How are you, Maria?
I'm fine. Thank you.
It's good to have you. Finally, you said yes to come on.
Well, I expected lobster. That's why I said yes.
Well, you got chicken of the sea.
That's all right.
We got some curry chicken. That's how Marta says it. Curry chicken with some rice and fideo.
It looks very good.
It looks good, right?
It looks very good.
I was trying not to eat rice, so maybe I'll just eat like half of it. I'm trying to stay with my diet. Try to eat healthier,
Yeah, because you're so heavy.
No, it's not about that. It's just, trying to
it's old age.
Old age, that's what it is. Okay, let's pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord Jesus, thank you for this beautiful day, for gathering us together. Bless this food we're about to receive. Bless those who go hungry. Bless our conversation. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Well, I'm very excited about our lunch today. I wanted to bring you on to see how you are and what you can tell us about St. Augustine, because you're probably one of the ones from here, St. Augustine. You could tell us a lot about the history of St. Augustine.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can. So what do you want to hear?
Well, I want to know, when did you start in the parish?
Well, in 1976, my husband and I decided we needed a bigger house.
And you can eat, by the way. You can eat
except that I was trained by a mother that, you don't eat and talk. So, so we were looking for a larger house. I had one child, and I was pregnant with the second one, and my parents were ill. So we planned to bring him and my little sister to live with us. And we looked everywhere, and then one day we got to this house, and we looked across the street and we said, that's the house. Because somewhere along the line, we'll need to walk to church, and we will just have to cross the street. And that's why
what year was that?
76.
Wow.
July 22nd, exactly.
It's a long time ago.
And we've been here since.
But you were a teacher.
I taught for over 40 years.
40 years. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I love teaching. I would have still be teaching if I could.
What did you teach?
I taught Spanish and social studies.
Oh, wow.
I was a social studies major at Barry. And then one day I decided that I had such a heavy accent that the kids would not appreciate it. So I switched to Spanish. But I have certification in both. So sometimes I did one, sometimes I did the other.
The kids called you Senora Cruz?
Senora Cruz or Missy Cruz.
Missy Cruz?
Yes. And there are people that you still ask. I've had City of Miami Beach mayors, commissioners, the city manager. In Miami Beach.
Why Miami Beach? Why were you working there?
Because that was the job I got. Because the year that I was hired, I was doing my internship at Carroll City Senior, and the teachers went on strike. So my first job was at St. Rose of Lima, teaching second grade.
At the Catholic school?
At the Catholic school with the Dominicans because of Barry. But then we were getting married that summer. And when the strike was over, I was called to a lady was pregnant, and they needed a full-time teacher, so they offered me the job.
In Miami Beach?
Carroll City. My first job was at Carroll City. So then I had to go to sister and say, sister, I'm getting married in July. And
what year was that?
I'm getting 68.
68.
And I'm getting, my salary here is $400 a month. The school system pays $500 a month. So
I need those $50.
Unless I can get the $100.
Oh, $400, yeah.
400.
I thought you said $450.
So she says, we love you, we like you, but, we cannot pay you anymore. So I said, then I'm sorry, but I'll have to go to public schools. $100 was a lot of money at that time. So I went to Carroll City and I worked. I finished the year there from April to June. And while I was there teaching, Emilio was living in Atlanta. And he calls me one night and says, can't hack it here. I'm very unhappy. If you find a job in Miami, we'll stay there. So I said, oh, really?
Why,
Oh,
where did you
really?
guys meet?
Well, we met in high school. We
Where?
met in high school, Miami Jackson.
Miami Jackson.
And we were in the youth group at Corpus Christi.
Wow.
There. So listen.
You were born in Cuba?
Yes. Yes.
You,
I came at 15.
You'll have to tell us about that.
I came at 15. And Emilio came at 16.
At 16?
And we did not know each other. We met here. Okay, we met in high school at
Jackson.
Corpus Christi. Yeah, but then we were together at the youth group. You know, with there was 3 Dominican priests there: Father Calderon, Father Vasquez, and Father Villaverde, and we were there in that group.
Hey Bella,
Till we get married.
sorry to interrupt you. You'll need to send me that link again for YouTube. I'm sorry. So then you guys meet at Jackson.
So
You're
we
going
met
to
at
youth group
Jackson.
Corpus Christi.
We would go from one day a week. We would go from the school. We walked to Corpus Christi. You know somebody who went there too, Leida Vasquez.
Mm-hmm.
She was in our group.
That's so
Yes,
cool.
yes.
My parents got married in Corpus Christi in 1966.
Wow.
And it was around that time.
That's when we were in the youth group.
Yeah. They weren't in the youth group, but they lived in Miami Springs. They were going to Miami Springs High, and they would go over to...
when Emilio came in 60. And he was assigned Coral Gables High because he lived with a family, not his family, with a family near Coral Gables High. But then he went to a church-sponsored camp in Jacksonville.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then when he came back with his family, because his family came, Miami High was full, so he was assigned Jackson. When I came from Cuba, Miami High was full, so I was assigned Jackson. So the Lord had a plan.
Well, I mean, nothing's by chance, right?
Of course not. Everything is very well planned by the Lord.
That's awesome.
So that's how we met. And
now, you were born in Cuba, though?
Yes.
Where in Cuba?
Havana. Yes.
Yeah, Emilio?
Emilio also.
And you came at age 15?
15.
Wow.
Yes.
So you got to know Cuba.
Oh, yes. I remember, and I dream of someday going back.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Many times I wake up thinking, when?
Wow. You know, I've talked to a lot of people that say, you know what?
Oh, no.
That's a closed chapter in my life.
No, because you know what I used to tell my students was that the example I could give them is like we started watching a movie and we never saw the end. So to me, it's something that I have to close.
Yeah.
Okay, and my parents were very into that. As a matter of fact, my mother was cremated, and she is in a crypt at Lady of Mercy until she can go back to Cuba.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's what she asked.
To inter her ashes
in Cuba.
Wow.
And Emilio and I have always said, if we can ever go back, to see what we can do to help. That's our, Emilio's an accountant, I'm a teacher. Maybe we can help.
They're going to need a lot of help.
That's the plan. Emilio was well off. I was very poor. So I'm not claiming any properties, okay? I'm just offering help.
To go and help.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love how you can see in your voice and in your emotion that Cuba is a passion for you. That's beautiful.
It is.
And also the faith too. I mean, you're at mass every day. And
well, when I was in 3rd grade, it was the first time.
You're not going to eat, right? You're just
no, in a little bit. When I was in 3rd grade.
So this show is Watch My Pastor
I started. Keep it eating. Keep it eating.
I'm hungry.
I can eat later. When I was in 3rd grade, they used to pick us up to go to school. But in 3rd grade, I switched schools and I started using regular buses, traffic, government buses. And there was a little chapel, St. Joseph's, very close to where we lived. We lived en Ayestarán and 20 de Mayo, very close to what today they call the Plaza de Revolución, which at that time was called, oh my God, I forget, but it was Jose Marti Plaza. So there was a little chapel.
I mean, I know where you're talking
You've
about.
been there. That's where the big masses were.
The big masses were.
Yeah, the last mass I went there was in, I want to say 60, I had to be 60, when they had La Virgen de la Caridad, went from one end to the other, and we went to that mass. That was the last time I was there.
Very famous.
Oh my God, it was so pretty.
A lot of people talk about that.
It was so pretty, so pretty. So I started going to school by myself, and I found this little chapel, and I would walk there, go to mass, and then get on the bus.
Now, was it a public school or?
No, I went to, in Cuba, they used to have like community, it was sponsored by El Centro Asturiano, which was like, my father was from Asturias. So they would pay a monthly fee, a monthly, I don't know what you call it, and that included the school, the clinic, anything you needed by one price for the whole family. So in 3rd grade, they put me there.
Oh.
See?
And do you have any other siblings?
Oh, yes. I have my brother who claims he's younger than I am, but he's not, Frank. And I have 2 sisters. One that is 5.5 years younger than I am, and one that was born when I was 18.
Wow.
And for a long time, she
Surprise.
told, no, listen, we were very happy. When she was born, we put her in my room, and she was always with me. As a matter of fact, she was my flower girl, because she was 4 when I got married. And my parents would get very jealous because she called Emilio the papi before he called my father papi, because Emilio and I were already engaged. I mean, we got engaged when she was a few days old.
Wow.
So, that's what she knew. She knew Emilio and I.
That's incredible.
Yes. So, that's the story.
And now, so you get to the U.S., you and Emilio get married.
No. We were boyfriend, girlfriend for a long time because...
No, but I'm like...
Yeah, but wait a second. You have to know... No, because some people, they get married... In
the interest of time. No, I'm just trying to put together what you've said.
In the interest of time, Emilio and I were boyfriend and girlfriend for 4 years, because when Emilio says, I want to get married, my father said, first you finish school and then you get married. So... Okay.
All right, so 4 years, then you get married, then you go to Barry, you get a job in Carol City.
Lima, Carol City, and then I went to Miami Beach High. And I was
that's
there.
Where you stayed, right?
I was there.
You have students that
from 1960. I was there from 1968 to 2001.
Wow, that's a long run.
Then I was transferred I was in one school for 1 year, another school for 3 years, but Beach High is my heart.
You love Miami Beach.
Yeah, Beach High is my heart. Yes. And I'm still involved with Miami Beach. Really? I'm still, the Kiwanis Club, because I got involved with Kiwanis when I was sponsor of a club, Key Club at school. And now I'm the secretary of the Kiwanis after being president, and I don't know what else. Yeah.
And then when did the kids start coming?
Well, my oldest daughter, when we moved here, she was 5.
She was 5 already. Yeah,
she was 5. She was born, and we lived in North Miami. We used to go to St. James. That's where I got married.
Is that where the connection with St. James?
Yeah, that's...
Because you've helped St. James.
Yes. St. James. And then when we moved here, I was pregnant with Maggie. And 2 years later, I had Susie. And... then I had a few miscarriages, so that was that.
So you never had the boy?
Never had a boy. No, Emilio was sure Maggie was going to be a boy. He had a name for her, but he was not a boy. But that's okay. Now we have 3 sons-in-law that are wonderful. So we have boys and girls.
And then how many grandchildren do you have?
I only have the 2 that Samantha and Christina, because Maggie has not gotten pregnant. And Susie had a liver transplant, so, doctors say at this point she could, but we say, Susie, you're doing so well, don't gamble, because, what if, she was very, very sick. And that's a connection with St. Augustine's. when Susie was so sick, okay, she needed surgery. She was a few months old, less than a year. And of course I came, Father Lechara was here, and you know I am a crier, so I came here. Everybody knew that Susie was very sick. So one of the doctors made an appointment for us to go to Washington, D.C. And when I told the community here, my second home, that we were going to take Susie to see a doctor in Washington, D.C., they piled on the medals, the religious cards, one day, Father Lechara comes and says, Maria, are you sure you're going to take Susie to a hospital, or are you going to open a church there? Because they gave me, and everybody would come in with things, So, that was the very first time that we really saw, what this community was like in 1978, 79.
Well, I have to commend you because you're a very good mother, and your girls love you, and you take care of those granddaughters.
My babies.
And that's a beautiful thing. You can always say a lot about a person when their children, the love that they have for their mother and father, and your girls love the both of you very much.
Let me tell you the best compliment I got, and recently. Samantha is in first year of confirmation.
Yeah.
At St. Mark's.
Yeah.
And the other day there was a problem in her class, not related to her. And my daughter, Bibi, the following week before the next class, she called and talked to the teacher, made him feel that, he did nothing wrong. It was the other parent that was out of line. And he said he was very grateful that she had called. Because Bibi is a school administrator, so, she understood what was going on. So he said, oh, your daughter Samantha is such a pleasure. I look forward to having her. And you have done such a good job. So Bibi says, Mom, don't cry. But I said, I've done my best, but you know what? She's been going to church with my mother since she was 3 weeks old. And he says, you can tell that she really is faith felt. It's not.
That's a great compliment.
Yes.
And I do see you. I see you every day there in the front view with your two granddaughters.
Yes. And let me tell you, my two kids, my own kids and my two granddaughters, the punishment when they misbehave was, you're going to have to go sit outside. No, I don't want to sit outside. Well, you have to behave. As opposed to, I see parents here that when the kids misbehave, they take them out. Hello, let's have fun.
Yeah.
So.
But that's something that they're never going to forget. That they went to mass with abuela.
Yes, abuelita.
Is that what they say, abuelita?
Abuelita. Yes, I'm very proud of my kids. All three of them have been wonderful. I'm not going to tell you they were perfect because nobody's perfect.
No, they're good
But
girls.
there was a point in time that I was concerned. Because, there comes a time in the kids' lives that, when they were little, they came to church with us. And then when they became teenagers, they came by themselves to the afternoon mass that was for teenagers. And then they stopped coming. So one day, Father Valley was here. And I went to him and I said, Bob, I have a problem. He says, what's the problem, Maria? I said, my kids are not coming to church. And he said, you know what? Emilio and you have done your job. You gave him the ground, you taught him, you brought him here, leave him alone. They will come back. And guess what?
And they did.
They did.
They did.
Which is really, really, because sometimes parents, they get very frustrated when they see that the kids are not doing what we expect them to do. But they have to grow. They have to become.
Yeah, they have to come to know the faith on their own. You have to plant the seed and allow it to grow.
You allow them to do it.
Now, you were here, the first pastor that was here
Father
when you got here.
Francis Lechara.
So Lechara
was here, and he was, my kids loved him. The day he left, we threw a party for him, and there are pictures going around some
Where
places.
did he go from here? Not to
He
St.
went-
Edwards, right?
Yes.
Straight to St. Edwards from here?
Straight there. Was it St. Edwards? What was
Palm Beach?
the big church? Yes. Yes. And I always said he was sent
So
there.
he was there for a long time.
Yeah, I always said he was there because they knew they were going to draw the line, and they left him on the other side. I called him one day and I said, Father Frank, what did you do to make the Archbishop send you in exile? He says, Maria, you know I'm a troublemaker, so that's what they did to me.
Now, was it true that he would walk the field at the University of Miami?
Of course, he would go to the game, and then after he left, Father Leo would do it. Yes, we always had a priest there. Father Leo Ambrister, he used to be a guest priest here.
Oh, but he wasn't the pastor.
No. After Lechara came Pusak, who we loved, my family loved dearly.
I got to know him when I was in Miami Beach at St. Joseph's.
Really?
Great guy.
I lost track of him till our church secretary died. He must have been out of here 7 or 8 years at least. And he came to the funeral, and I heard he was here, so I went in the sacristy, and he looks at me and says, Mother, because he always called me Mother. Mother, how's Bibi, Maggie, and Susie? And I looked at him and say, how do you remember the names? He had the names down pat.
Wow.
I have never seen something like that. He
paid me a compliment because I was a deacon at St. Joseph's.
Oh.
And he would come sometime because he lived close by, and he would sit in the back. He would stand at the back of the church, and he would listen to me preach.
I can see him standing. Yes.
And he would listen to me preach, and then later on he'd give me some comments on what I was preaching about, but super supportive.
He was so nice. He was really nice. I have a mass for him every year.
Yeah, he was a very good priest.
Very nice. And then after Father Pusak, we got Father Dennison, straight out of Columbus.
And Dennison was here for a while.
10
right?
years.
10 years.
Yeah. Pusak was here only about 2.
Short while.
Yeah. Dennison, but the funny part with Dennison, after we got to know him, love him, but he was assigned here. He had never been here. He didn't know this place. So one day I'm in my house doing house things, and the bell rings. I go outside, and he looks to me and he says, is this the rectory? And I said, no. He says, they told me it was across from the church. I said, yeah, but they didn't tell you that way instead of this way. So he says, I'm Father Dennison, I'm going to be your pastor. I said, oh my God, that's how I met him.
So that's how you met him?
That's how I met him, and I still love him. You should invite him to come someday.
Yeah, I should. And I've had some great conversations with him. He's in St. Mary's Star of the Sea in Key West.
Yes, in Key West, yes.
And whenever we would go down, because the Archbishop, in fact, the Archbishop is going to Key West today. But we would go down and we'd spend the night down in the rectory because it's such a long drive.
Yes, you know what he used to do here? For big holidays, Christmas, Easter, he would reserve the first 3 or 4 pews on each side, and he would reserve signs. And we would say, Father, and he would say, that's for the people that come all the time. So that's for you, because I like to see familiar faces when I'm preaching.
What? So
yes, for the regulars.
Christmas and Easter's and stuff?
For the regulars, as opposed to, the people that come once a year. It was so funny. He was a good pastor here. Let me tell you, Father Dennison really pushed the service to others. And if there's anybody who has to be blamed for not fixing this place, it's Father Dennison. Because he used to say, this is a building. This is not the church. We are the church and we do for others.
Yeah.
Okay? And Lechara was into campus ministry.
Yeah, but that's all.
Not
fixing things is only sustainable for a while.
Yeah, but listen, Father Lechara was here. When he was here, the university students were all over the place. He had to actually say, it's time to go home. You need to go home now.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they would leave. Okay, they would help us with everything. The dinners, the ladies would have dinners. They would serve. The university kids were part very important part of this community. When Father Lechara was here. When Father Dennison was here, we turned a little bit into high school kids. Because remember, he was a teacher at Columbus. So he was a high school person.
Yeah,
he opened the mass in the afternoon. I think it was 5. I don't think it was 5, maybe 5:30. He opened the mass, teenagers mass. And you would look in the New Times and all that. The place to be, if you're looking for a girlfriend, was St. Augustine's. Okay?
Well, they did an article on that, right?
Yes.
What was it, Saturdays or Sundays?
No, Sundays.
Oh, Sundays.
Sundays. And it was guitar music. It was, for the kids. But Dennison also had, I don't know if you know, that St. John Bosco was built thanks to us. How do I know? Because Monsignor Ballina told us.
Really?
Every collection, every month they will get a percentage of our collection. That's how they build that church.
Wow.
Okay, I think 5%. I forget.
That's why we don't have any money in the bank.
Well, no. When he left $1 million in the bank.
Wow.
I was in pastoral council. I had the papers. He left $1 million. And Dennison was very good.
Well, he was a good fundraiser.
Oh, and he was also very good money manager.
Yeah.
He was excellent because you know what? Father D never had to ask for money. Father D had this gift. He would stand and Lechara did too. But, Lechara, one Sunday, we heard that the rectory was not paid up. There was a mortgage and we thought it was all paid up. So he says, all of a sudden they send me this mortgage. This is how he gets in trouble, the archdiocese. So, how much do you need? We paid it within a week. And we burned the darn mortgage, okay?
Wow, that's great.
And Dennison would do the same. Dennison would stand and say, I went to visit Boys Town, or is that what it was called, Boys Town?
Yeah, Boys Town in Kendall.
And when Monsignor Walsh was there.
Yeah.
And he would say, I went there, these poor kids, summer, there's nothing planned for them because there's no money. He would never say, this is what we need. So on the way out, people would say, how much do you need? How much do you need? And he would come up with the money because...
Yeah, he was a great fundraiser. I had him as a professor one semester.
Did you?
He married my brother-in-law, and my sister. And then we became friends. I was telling you, when we would go to Key West, we would sit and have a drink.
I love that man.
And he'd say, because he was the priest secretary to Archbishop Coleman Carroll.
Yes, he was.
So he always threatened to tell me some very good, juicy stories, but he never did.
And then he was involved with the personnel board.
Yeah.
And that's why some priests weren't very friendly with him, I heard.
No, he's a great guy.
Let me tell you,
priest.
Not friendly with everybody. He wasn't, for example, the girls, like my oldest daughter, Bibi, she would say, oh my God, I can't take it. And I would say, why? Because he built a wall. He was very good looking when he came here. He was young. And the women, you're a priest, you must know that there's some women that kind of get attracted to priests. And he was very close to the boys, but not close to the girls. And Bibi worked in the office here after school hours. And she would say, Mom, how do you like him? I said, he's fine with me. I don't have a problem with him. He was very tough on the girls because of that. Yes.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
What a nice guy. In very difficult moments in our family life, when Emilio had to talk to somebody, he didn't allow anybody in the rectory. Father D did not allow anybody in the rectory.
That's how it should be.
Well, let me tell you, Emilio only had to pick up the phone and say, I'm coming, and he would talk to him there. So, priests have to understand not everybody's the same. There are some people that need to be friendly, and there's some people that don't want to be friendly. And you have to adjust to that. Okay, so that was Dennison. After Dennison, we got Father Hogan, now Monsignor Hogan, who was wonderful here. He was also wonderful, but he didn't last. He was moved to the cathedral a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he and Piusa were here very little, but he was very nice. And while he was here, Emilio and I used to come after hours and close the church, to make sure that everything was the way it was supposed to be. He was really, really nice. And in difficult moments, when I had issues with the school system, the very first time I saw him at the cathedral, he came over and said, Maria, we've been praying for you. I'm so glad to see you. Is there anything I can do for you?
He's doing a good job. He's in Parkland, Florida.
I heard
now,
that.
and he's doing a very good job.
And
there.
he was happy at the university too.
Right, but the pastor there retired, and I think the Archbishop was looking for somebody that can, because they need to raise some money to build their church.
He would do
they're
it.
in like a multi-purpose.
Oh, he
building,
would do it.
and he'll do it. He'll be able to get that done.
Yeah, we loved him. And then after that, we had Father Curlin, and then we had Monsignor Carruthers, and then with Monsignor Carruthers, there were some issues with CCD. Instead of doing it here, it was moved to a charter school, so the kids very rarely came here.
Yeah,
some of us didn't like that.
Well, the thing is that it's hard because really this campus has no space for no classrooms and no space.
But
for
in
kids.
the afternoons, the university students are there, so there was space for the kids.
Yeah, we're making it work.
And the kids need to see this as their church, not a place that they visit once a week or once a month or once a year. I mean, you see behavior. Okay, Christine and Samantha behave well because they're used to it. They know what when the kids come only here once a month or once every 3 months, it doesn't mean the same.
Yeah.
Okay, and of course we had a wonderful youth group here. Okay, you need to talk to my daughters about youth group. We had a wonderful
That was high
youth
school
group.
or middle school?
High school.
High school?
No, we had both.
Both.
But high school, John Scarano was here and he was outstanding. I mean, at the end of the year, they went camping, they went whitewater rafting. I mean, it was very vibrant, very.
But I think too, and I agree with you. We need to do something about youth group and for young people. But I remember because I belong to our parish youth group, but we didn't have
in Hialeah.
No, in Central Florida.
Oh,
but we
okay.
didn't have social media. We didn't have phones. We didn't have all these machines that these kids have.
Yeah, but you know
it's
what?
very hard to get these kids
know,
to get off of these machines.
No, you know what the problem is?
What?
If they do not have something here, they find it someplace else. The kids, when we lost the youth group, the kids were going to the Baptist church and to Alpha and Omega because kids like to be with kids.
Yeah.
I know that they're media, but you know what? If you have a choice or having fun with kids your age, that is fun.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And the parents have something to do with that too, because you know what? You don't have to be on the computer all day. You need to socialize.
That's true.
Okay, and then we need to talk about CCW.
Well, you forgot Marin. Marin came.
Oh,
here.
Monsignor Manin, but he was here only a short time.
Short time.
I
were
can
very
tell
good
you.
to him. You were
I
very
can
good
tell
to
you.
him.
Well, he was very good to me too. He was. He brought me back. For a period of time, I was not active here, and he made me feel very good.
Yeah, he was a good guy. And
I still miss him.
he was what?
No,
2
nothing
years?
personal.
No. Of
He
course
came
not.
in June of 16, and he died in December of 18.
18. Yeah.
So he was here barely 2 years, a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
And the last few months, he was so sick that.
Poor guy, and really tried to continue.
Oh my
and
God!
work and-
He was here every morning. He could barely walk,
Wow.
and he would hold on to the altar to be able to go up.
Yeah.
I mean, he really.
Well, it was good witness to
Yes.
the people.
Oh my gosh, yes. And then we got stuck with you.
That's right.
Yeah, no.
So out of all these years,
And
that
then
you've
we're
been at St.
very happy
Augustine-
to have you here.
No, but at all these years you've been here at St. Augustine, what has
Yes.
been the ministry that you've enjoyed the most?
Well,
because you've done a lot.
I was a CCD teacher for a long time. When I came here, Emilio and I were the young people. We were the younger couple.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of people that have been here forever. And eventually we became the elder group. But when we were young, we even had when Dennison was here, we even had a family night on Friday nights. And we had a group of couples with kids. The couples would sit with the adults and the kids would be playing with them themselves. And we played Trivial Pursuit and we did
Really?
Fun stuff. Sophie Acosta, the parents and yeah, they were in that group. Coqui was in that group too. Yes, we had every Friday night we would meet. We would bring, everybody would bring something to share, and we had a good time. We had a good time. Let me tell you what a good time we had. We have Father Foyo here. I don't know if you met him. He was Benedictine, and Father Valore. Joseph. Okay, they were here, and they would always, they were very close to us. And one St. Francis Day, the blessing of the animals, we brought in a live lobster with a leech.
No, you didn't.
Oh, yes, we did. And it was blessed. And then that Friday, we had it for dinner. Pot. And then they came and we said, Father, we have to pray. I said, no, you don't have to pray. It's blessed already. We had fun here. This place was, and I'm glad to tell you that I see it in the process. I see it happening. When Hurricane Andrew hit,
1992,
we all lost power. But the kitchen downstairs has gas.
That's right.
So Dennison gave us permission to cook here.
Cooking.
Oh yes, we would bring our food. We would cook, and all the people, the neighbors, we all ate here, including the priests. Wow. We had dinner here because of the gas. And then one day, when are we going to get power back? So Father Dennison said, whoever gets the power first, we move in. Well, lo and behold, one day I'm here and I see the church lights go on. So when he came out of church, I said, Father, lights are on, power is back. Look across the street, no power. He says, move in. And we brought in a mattress and we slept in the library till we got power back.
Wow.
Yeah, we were staying here. And there was a couple, the Hunts, who lost everything. Their house was destroyed. And they moved in where now is part of your old office. And the room at the end, that was a big room. That was all one room. They moved there. I think they lived here like about a year.
Wow.
Because they had no place to stay. Father Dennison. Yeah, this place was a home. It was a community. Okay? No doubt about it. We all felt, this was home. Okay?
That's a beautiful thing.
So I was a CCD teacher. I was involved with Matrimonios in Victoria somewhere along the line too. We had the family group, and then I joined a ladies guild. It was called Ladies Guild at that time, and then we changed it to CCW. And
it was called Ladies Guild?
Ladies Guild because we were not members of the CCW group. It was a separate thing. And when I was president, somewhere along the line, I don't remember when, maybe 04, late, we put it to a vote and we agreed to become affiliated with CCW.
MACCW, no?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, now it's called South District. Used to be, Now it's called South District, and the South District goes all the way to Key West.
Yeah, you got a good chaplain.
Okay, yeah, I would say, even though I haven't seen him at the meetings, but yeah, we have an excellent chaplain. So we joined, because remember, is the district, the Archdiocesan group, the Florida, and then the national.
Right.
This is a place where women have a say, where we can share our concerns, where we can see what we would like to see happen. It's very good. I can imagine not being part of that group.
Well, I love that once a year you all come up to the Capitol in Tallahassee,
yes,
and you lobby some of the legislators.
Yes, and not everybody can go. I've never gone, but we've done it locally too.
Right.
Okay, and our CCW group here has always been very active. We think of ourselves as a faith service community, because we do. I mean, our group is very faithful. We do take faith as very important, but we say, we have hands, and we are here to help others too.
But you've been very good to take care of the parish.
Well, let me tell you, the floors.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that. How did you come up with that idea for the bricks for CCW to do that?
Because I heard you say, and I saw the bricks that were, the floors that were breaking. And I asked around, and I know some people thought that they could be repaired. But when I checked around, I was told, no, you fix one, then another one will lift up. So it's a problem. So I figured, where can we raise money? In the old times, we could have had dinners.
Yeah.
Because we used to raise good money with the dinners. Okay. But now, because of COVID, we couldn't do that. So I looked around, and one day I told Emilio, I'm going to go across the street and count bricks. He says, you're crazy. I said, no, I'm going to go count. And I counted maybe 1,100, between 1,100 and 1,200 bricks that were never inscribed. Because we had a brick campaign here, they only sold 45 bricks at $1,000 each. And that's when I counted and said, wait a second, if we sell all those bricks, that's good money. And that's when I talked to you.
Yeah.
And then I talked to a lady and said, okay, we need help. We need to get this going. And one of the first bricks we sold was the one in memory of living and deceased members of St. Augustine CCW.
Oh, that's nice.
Because that's important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I thought it was a great idea, a great campaign, because I didn't want to make it more, and some people have criticized me because they thought that it should be more than $200, that it should have been a bigger fundraiser. But my goal has always been that if you want a brick with your name to be in perpetuity there forever in the breezeway, that you can have it for $200. I think everyone can do that.
What I've told people, the money's good, and we're glad that we're getting some money. But the best part is, years from now, when we're all gone,
that's right,
the history of St. Augustine's will be there.
Yeah.
And if you check, all the pastors will be represented there.
Yeah.
Okay, every single one of them, including you. Okay, priests that people were close to. I have several people that have bought for George Sardinas, for Cardona. Priests that Jorge Garcia.
Yeah, priests that would help.
Oh, yes, people. Well, what I tell people is there must have been somebody in this parish, in this church, that you were close to. Remember them. If they're alive, I put one for Dennison. If they're alive, in honor of them. If they're dead, then you know what? And what you did was very good, because remember when Christina asked you about, can we have a mass for everybody who's there? And I tell the people, this is every year we'll be praying for the people here.
I want to do it on the Feast of St. Augustine.
How more do you want? I mean, that's a gift.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's been going very well. We still have a lot. We're about a third of what we can sell. Okay. So we still have more. People are asking, where are you going to put them? Well, there's plenty of bricks that are not inscribed.
Right.
Okay. Hopefully someday, every brick will have the name.
The guy who installed them did a good job. How did you find him?
I, in desperation, because I had no idea, and I asked people, and the company wanted an exorbitant amount to install them. So I called Commissioner Lago, who I know is in the construction building business, and I said, Vince, do you have anybody? Oh, yes, I can get you somebody. And he connected me with the company that he uses. And the person that came is one of their employees.
Yeah, he did a good job. And I like that he's very neat and organized and very particular in the way he was laying.
Well, because he's followed the pattern. Eventually, there'll be no pattern, okay? Right. Eventually, every brick, the only pattern will be one color, some the other. Yeah, but, some people have already said, what about the area around the tower? I was going to say the fountain. It used to be a fountain. The area around the tower, well, maybe one day we can do that. Yeah. But I think if you look at it as the history of St. Augustine's will be there.
Yeah, I love it. And if you want to do a brick, there's still an opportunity to do a brick.
Yes. And if you know anyone who came here, was baptized here, was married here, has any connection to St. Augustine's, and let me tell you, I'm going through the list that I have from Dennison's time. I have a list of all the parishioners. I'm beginning to contact people Okay,
See
if
if
you
they wanna
want,
put a-
Bob
right.
Greasy is one that I'm calling next because I don't know if you know the piano that's on the stage.
Uh-huh.
It says in memory of Judy Greasy.
Really?
That was his wife, his
Wow.
first wife. So I'm contacting people, for $200, you can have your name there. Everybody will know that you were here. You'll be part of this history. And I
Now,
think it's working.
Now, tell me your love for city politics, because you're involved in that as well.
Well,
how did that start?
Maria Cruz likes to say that where she is, she wants something to be better than it is.
Yeah.
And I always do, I always try. And if I see injustice, forget it. I get involved. And I got involved at the beginning, as soon as I retired, because when I was working, I couldn't. When I retired, I started going to city commission meetings. And then we had a problem. We had a city manager that decided that they were going to fix Miller Road without talking to the neighbors. And they came in and destroyed the place and changed everything that we wanted and built that ugly circle that I'm still trying to fix next to university. So I said, you know what? Instead of criticizing, you need to get involved. So I started going to the meetings and putting my 2 cents worth. And then we had the big to-do when the next city manager wanted to get rid of Ed Hudak from being the chief of police. She did not want to appoint him. She wanted somebody else. And we got the community to talk and to
So you
go
like
there.
city politics?
Yeah.
Well, you've been helpful with all of us, and with St. Augustine when we've needed a couple of things.
Well,
and
when you do things with the city, you make connections.
right.
And it doesn't mean that they do things for you that they don't do for everybody
No,
else,
no.
but they tell you how to work,
Yeah.
how to maneuver the system. And that's what I've learned. If somebody needs something, I know who to call and who to ask.
Right.
And I don't know if you realized, but Monday night the noise was bad coming from the university. They were excavating. They had a permit till 11 p.m. Okay, so I couldn't go to sleep because I could hear the noise. So I called the city manager. He stopped it. Okay, so when you make connections, you cannot call people the first time and say I need this, I need that. But when you get to know people and they know you and they know that you're not doing it, people ask me, why don't you run for office? Because I get more this way.
Yeah.
Because if you're elected, then there are rules. Then you cannot talk among yourselves. Then you cannot do this. I can do anything I want because I'm not an elected official.
Well, I think since I got here, you've been very helpful, very instrumental in a lot of things that we've
I've
done
tried.
here, and also with the college students. I know the college students love you, and you cook on Monday nights, no?
Well,
now with
it
COVID,
used to be Tuesday nights.
Is it Tuesday nights?
I went to Father Tang and said, these poor kids. And I know that some people are going to say they come to University of Miami, they have money. I have news for you. There are lots of kids here with scholarships. There are lots of kids here that really have to count pennies to survive.
Yeah.
Okay, so to me it was, the right thing to do, and I started cooking for them every Tuesday night.
I loved it. I loved seeing them all in the
They were
lounge
so
there,
good.
and a home cooked meal.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting at a table. Like it looked like every week was like Thanksgiving
Yes,
meal. Or
and
something.
they were so good. All I asked was, I do the cooking, I do the prepping. When you finish, make sure you clean up so
They were good at that.
So the workers don't have to do it for you, and they were excellent.
They were excellent.
But now we can do it on Tuesday because they cannot sit together.
Right. Yeah, the
So-
University of Miami has some strict rules.
Yes.
with
So
their students.
now we have a Sunday night dinner that we do after the 8 o'clock. First, we started with snacks. I was asked for snacks.
And you did churros one night, no?
Yes, churros and chocolate. But the problem is that I told Michelle, we're spending more money in snacks than a real meal. Because when you add the cookies and the chips and the this and the that, it was more expensive than, so we started doing meals, okay? We had churros and chocolate was the last time we did just the snacks. And then we had Fina for Valentine's. She did a beautiful snack package, you know, lots of chocolate and hearts. And then the next time we did congri and lechon.
That's good.
And it went.
They loved it.
The complaint was we needed more. So this past Sunday, we had arroz imperial. We fed 75 kids. And what we're doing is we're putting in takeouts so they don't have to eat it here. They can take it with them.
Or sit in the
outside,
yeah.
But there's no room for 75 to sit outside, right. So they take it and they eat, you know, and we look forward to having the real thing inside again. But before I leave CCW, don't forget Stars and Angels.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about, quickly, because the time's running out.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit Stars
and Angels was something that we started here, and we identified parishes that needed help. And we become the Santa Claus for those parishes and those families.
And let me tell you, last year, even with COVID, this past Christmas was impressive.
Amazing.
The amount of money that we raised in gift cards and Publix cards, and wow.
This community is very, very generous.
Yes.
Extremely generous. Now, you don't know this, but Sister Carmen for Corpus Christi has contacted me because Easter is coming and those families around Corpus Christi are very poor. So she wants to see how we can help. And I'm going to be talking to the CCW ladies this week to see what we can do to help her. 100 families. The 100 families that we did Thanksgiving for. Remember the Thanksgiving?
Right.
They need help. So I don't know how we're going to do it yet.
Easter meal, or more like they want like a grocery.
She would rather. She said that Father Jose Luis Menendez and Sister Carmen spoke, and the gift cards work very well. Winn-Dixie gift cards, and they can go buy what they need, and they know what they eat. Because when we put packets together, if they don't like something, what?
Well, let's see what we can do.
Okay, so we're going to work on that.
Well, let me tell you, another episode of Watch My Pastor Eat, because you didn't eat anything.
Well, because I was talking.
You can talk with your mouth full.
No, I can't. My mommy will not be happy.
But thank you, Maria, for coming in, and thank you for all that you do to help us, and especially for the college students. And so I'm grateful.
And thank you for allowing me. Thank you for allowing me to do it, and allowing us, because Emilio, you know, every time I cook, Emilio's involved too. Okay, so thank you for allowing our family to be part of this beautiful family.
No, they're an important part, and also all that you do. You're president of CCW now, right?
Yes, I am.
So we got a lot of great stuff in the future. So, but thank you for having lunch with me. You'll probably eat now after the camera.
I'll eat now.
But thank you. Join me not next Thursday, but the following Thursday, and I'll see you on Bless's Kitchen. Thank you for joining us today. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Chow time.
Now you can eat, Maria.
Listen, this place is so unique.
It is.
I'm going to tell you.